Hello everybody, Terrence Pop here with another episode from the Lair, or the semi-lair. I'm still setting my shit up. I'm in transition. What can I say?
As long as it's this kind of transition.
Yes.
There are other kinds of transition.
That I will never take part in.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to have some stories about a popular subject that I'm sure all of you have run into in your life, even if you're in the military or not. We're going to be talking about buddy fucking, or the Blue Falcon. Okay. Now, I have hundreds of stories like this because it happens all the time in the Army. All right. Whenever you get a bunch of people thrown into an area from different cultures and ways and walks of life, you always get that one or two sons of bitches. That's all they do is throw people around them under the bus to make themselves look good. Some of them do it by accident, and I'll still bust their nuts because, you know, I got to learn them different. But some of them do it on purpose, and they are absolutely reprehensible. And I've seen a lot of people climb all the way to the top by destroying people around them by being constant Blue Falcons. I have a few stories here. A lot of them happened in Ranger School or, you know, early on in my military career. And the first one we have, like I said in the earlier stories, I was the admin first sergeant. So every time we would go admin, I had to pull up my clipboard and take inventory of all the people and equipment. It was a big fucking pain in the dick. So we're up there doing the patrolling in mountain phase, which was a fucking nightmare. Because you're literally walking on the top of these ridges, and I mean, there's you know pretty steep sides on each side. I wouldn't say they went straight down, but they were very steep. And I don't know what this guy. It was a kid idiot. I mentioned him earlier, but I think it was the same one that fell asleep. He was just such a lazy fucking butterball piece of shit. And how he got into West Point is beyond me. Because he was literally a piece of shit that was stacked about 6 feet high. Just, oh my God.
Nobody stacked shit that high.
Well, they did. And the funny part is I think he was like a blonde, blue-eyed surfer buff dude who was an absolute fucking pussy.
Great poster boy.
So, you know, when it gets dark and everyone's tired and we're in the, you know, moving from one objective to the other, we're walking basically in a staggered ranger file, which is, you start off in a line, and then one guy takes one step off to the left, another guy takes a step to the right, because that's all the room you had. And we're moving from one objective to the other. And for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, we got into this, like, bottleneck, so we're all tired, so everyone's, like, walking into each other. It's literally like cows, you know, and then you always have that guy, like, they're like, it's funny. So Mr. Douchebag, he's, like, literally, like, one guy in front of me. What does he do? He turns on this white mag light, and he turns it on and is like, what's going on? And all you hear is the RI's like, oh, the fuck, turn that light on. And he turns it off and he throws it out. You can hear it go down the side of the mountain. And they're coming back, and he's standing right next to me. So now I have a decision to make. Either I just go, it was him, and then everyone hate me and possibly peer me out of the school for being a narc, or I gotta play dumb. So, you know, before they get there, I'm looking like right at this guy, and he had grounded his rucksack, right? And it's like right at my feet. We're making eye contact, and I kick his rucksack, and you hear I mean, it is going, it's like 400 or 500 feet down there. And he's looking at me like, you're a dick, Pop. And I'm like, thanks a lot. You just buddy fuck me, bro. So I turn around and the RI's like, they come up, like, Pop, what the fuck? I'm like, I didn't see anything. What do you mean? I was facing this way. I only got I don't know who had the light, you know, and they knew I was lying. We got a major minus for that, the motherfucker. But, you know, we did get it's almost a 40-minute nap because, you know, Mr. White Light dumbass had to go all the way fucking down there and then climb his fucking ass back with the aid of ropes and shit. Dumbass mother. Oh, man, I hate that. I hope he didn't die. But if he did, I don't know if I would be sad.
No, I'm not not saying he should die, but I understand.
All right. Now, this is another one. All right. This happened at the end of Florida Phase. Me and this other ranger, he was from first bat. I was from second bat. We're both E4s, which is one below sergeant, you know. And the rest were West Point actual officers, and I think there were like 2 cadets. And they decide, we're going to peer the system. And that's where they work it out so everyone peers everybody. So you all come in at like 70%, which is statistically almost impossible. It's like 1 in 1,000 that would happen. So they asked me to do it. And I'm like, hey, you know, I don't want to do it because we're not supposed to do it. And they're all like, well, that's fine. We're going to peer you and your buddy over there. And you're both going to be out. I'm like, God damn it. So I have no choice. I mean, literally, I've been like hornswoggled into doing this bullshit. So they give me the deal. I follow instructions. I peer the system. The other guy next to me peers the system. And about 2 hours later, they take the entire squad, put us aside because they know it's all bullshit. And I'm like, you know, they come up to me like, Bob, did you peer the system? And I'm like, well, I just peered. I don't know. I just did. Whoever I said is an asshole, you know. And the same thing with my ranger buddy. Okay, so now if everyone would have stuck to the story, it would have worked. But you know, I had no choice, and it is what it is. So they go to the first guy to my left, and they like, did you guys peer the system? And he's like, yes. Totally fucked everybody, especially me. Not only did we peer the system, but me and my other buddy, you know, we appeared to be, now we're lying because everyone else said they fucking did it. So hang on, it gets better. So they pull us aside, and they basically told me and this other, I'm not gonna say his name, but we're fucking out of the course. You guys are fucking done. Fuck you. I'm like, oh God, you know, my career's over. I'm out of ranger school. I'm like totally fucked. So I eat chow that night. I go to rack out in the barracks. Next morning comes around and they're like, fuck you. Get your ass over there. You're fucking, you know, emptying garbage cans and mopping floors until we fucking do the paperwork. I'm like, God damn it. So I go into the head office where the colonel was, and like, I literally like emptying garbage cans. Now I got my regular BDUs on with my CIB and my airborne wings, the jump star, my combat scroll bookends on each side. And the colonel, he sees me and he's like, hey, Ranger, why don't you come over here? What's going on with you? And I walk in there and he goes, why do I have a combat decorated airborne ranger emptying garbage cans in ranger school when you should be in class? And I'm like, well, sir, have you been briefed? He's like, no. So I'm like, well, I'm the guy they're throwing out for peering the system. He goes, what are you talking about? I go, I was in a squad with all officers and they said either I peer the system or they're gonna peer me. And he goes, what the fuck did you just say? And I told him, he's like, oh, shit! He was fucking out of his mind angry, which was great. He kicked the garbage can. He was walking for the door. Didn't even like go around the table, just threw them out of the way. And I'm like, oh my God. Like 10 minutes later, there was 4 of the RIs were in there. The entire squad with other officers, and I'm in there. And he's just like, what the fuck? And our eyes were, well, we asked Pop, and he said he did this. He's like, well, what was his exact words? He said, I don't know. I was peered. The guy was the biggest asshole. So he looks at it, and there's this other like West Point over there. He goes, you think that guy's an asshole? And I look over and I go, hell yeah. He goes, seems legit to me. So, you know, we dodge a huge bullet. So he's like, these 2 are re-enrolled. I don't want, you know, they're back in the course. The rest of these guys are all getting thrown out. He threw all the other officers out of the course. Gone. And the cadet, the one cadet, what happened?
There's a piece of dust on that.
The one cadet that was on my squad got kicked out with a DNR letter, which do not return. So he can never come back to ranger school, ever. So, you know, I really dodged a bullet on that, and then, because my whole life would be different if I'd have got thrown out of ranger school, and I don't think it would have been as good as it was. People don't understand that shit happens. Okay, and I remember I talked about the guy named Blair, the narcoleptic, a couple stories back, who fell asleep and buddy fucked me. But you just got to understand the magnitude of the buddy fucking that this guy did. All right, so literally, I got my team. I got it's like 5 guys and me, so 6 guys total. All I have to do, we already did like a 12-click movement. We did an ambush. It went off flawlessly. All I had to do now was just get them all onto the helicopter. I had them all right there. I remember right the helicopter's landing. I'm like counting everybody. I get them on the helicopter, and apparently Blair fell asleep with, here is the helicopter of the Black Hawk wheel. Here is, Blair's head. There's literally like 2 fingers of sand between the wheel and his skull. How does that happen when you have a helicopter right above you, like 2,200 pounds of whirling, swirling, loud-ass death? How can he sleep? I don't know. Other than he's a narcoleptic and he buddy fucked me. I got even with him. We'll get to that at the end of the story. Okay. So, again, this one's in Mountain Face. And we're doing all the rappelling and all that bullshit. And part of the thing that you have to do is you have to, learn how to lower casualties down the cliff face. And they only had 1 dummy. So they're literally strapping people onto the blackboards and lowering them down. And if somebody drops a rope, man, you're taking an 8-story plummet and you're strapped to a board like this. So you have no hope of actually trying to break or fall or anything. You're just, So literally, I'm lowering this guy down. I'm fuck this, man. God damn, no, I'm not getting in that board. So, all right, standing right behind me. And this other dude is like, what that? Pop, you don't want to get in the board. You said, fuck that. I'm like, and the RI's like, Pop, lay on the board. And literally, I'm getting on the board looking at the dude going, oh. So he knows he buddy fucked me. Of course, he did it on purpose because he was laughing the whole time. And they lowered me 8 stories on a rope. And let me tell you, I don't want to do that shit again ever. That sucked. Again, this one's in Florida. And we were telling stories in the barracks a couple days prior. And I was telling them I did the scout swimmer thing. So, when you're working in Florida, or whenever you come across a river or a stream that requires, I think it's anything deeper above mid-thigh, you have to put a rope bridge for safety reasons so everyone can cross safely. So we're crossing this one river, and for whatever reason that year it was swelled up. Oh, that's right, because we, we survived the Category 1 hurricane, which they wouldn't let us into the barracks. So basically, the entire staff who ran the Florida phase buddy fucked the entire class. Alpha Company, that's you. So I'm like, holy shit, that's really wide, Oh. And then the guy's like, hey, there's alligators in there. I'm like, I'm not even gonna fuck that, And what's Mr. fucking buddy fucker do? Oh, Pop's a scout swimmer. He can swim across that, no problem. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, oh. I'm like, all right, you son of a bitch. So you're like, oh, Pop, can you swim there? I'm like, of course I can swim over the horizon. I can swim across the river. I just want to get tore up by an alligator. Can't we just go down to it's like a mile and a half down and cross over there where it's not as bad. It's kind of more narrow. And they're like, don't have enough time. Get to swimming. Like, So literally, you strip down, you take off your boots, grab the rope, and swim across, tie to the tree, come back, put your goddamn boots on. While everyone else is crossing, and then when they're done, I have to take the goddamn, unhook it so I can tread water, tie it to myself, and then they pull me back with the rope so I don't go under. But that was pretty bad. Now this is one of those times when I got some Blue Falcon payback. We were in Dugway, Utah. And one of the guys who had Blue Falcon me 2 or 3 times, I'd had enough with it. I had enough, and you can't smash a dude in the face, even though I did wanting to a bazillion times. They'll throw you out for that. So literally, we're on top of it's a hilltop, like one of the. It's not like a hilltop. It's like a foothill. It's not, you know. And then it goes down. And you got to walk across this ass amount of sand to get to the one live fire area we're doing in Dugway. Now that day I had walked around already, and I saw that, you know, there was a ravine that went down maybe 11 or 12 feet, and then there was a bunch of that sage bush. You couldn't really see it. So that night, you know, we're in there, and it was my turn to be the platoon sergeant. I'm like, all right, you, I need you to go pull security over there, just on the other side of that that bush. And I see him walk over there, and you can see the cat eyes on the back of their heads. So it's like, ah, he's like, fell into the ravine. And I'm like, yes, there is a God. Payback's a bitch. I'm like, oh, go get him, throw a rope, and bring him up. So they pull him up. He wasn't hurt, but, you know, he was scuffed up pretty bad. He's like, that's fucked up, Pop. You knew that was there. I'm like, I didn't know. He goes, it's on the map. I'm like, oh. I didn't see that the terrain lines were that close. Rat bastard. Oh, man. I can't tell you how many times as a platoon sergeant and a first sergeant, and, you know, for all of the companies that I've run in the military, I've had some guys that were some pretty bad Blue Falcons. Again, you have the ones that don't know they're doing it, and they usually stop when you step on their balls a couple times. Oh. Well, you know, you got the guys who just keep doing it, and then you get to the point where you got to basically keep everyone from killing that dude because he's an asshole.
Maybe that's why they make that sound.
Yeah.
They're stepping on their ball.
Yeah. Oh! Oh! That, or, you know, throwing them under the bus, you know. Yeah, and one of the ways that I actually helped stop the Blue Falcon thing is I would always ask, you know, I would never be one of those guys unless the bullets are flying, like, do this, do this. I mean, I never ran the show like that. I'd always ask, you know, hey, what do you think we should do here? And a lot of times I would get input from even the lowest level guys that would be, you know, fairly good. And if everyone there knows that you're not really going to put up with the Blue Falconing thing, and you're going to lean on everyone as a group if they do it, you'll get everyone like taking responsibility for fucked up shit as a group. And there's really, you know, you're not going to, you know, bust the balls of an entire platoon for some bullshit. You know, and I've had lots of times like, oh, we all did that there, Soren. You know, we fucked up. I'm like, all right, we got to, we'll unfuck it and we'll move on. So, I mean, the best way to deal with that is you got to get everyone on the same page and operate as a team, everyone. And and try not to put individuals on the spot, you know. And usually that works out pretty good. But occasionally you're always going to get the buddy fucker, and you might have to give him a blanket party and kick the shit out of him a few times, tell him to shut the fuck up. You know, that's old Army. I don't know what they do about it now, but it is what it is. They had that Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, when
they beat him with soap.
I was thinking that's what it was. I just wanted to make sure. They all put, like, you know, soap and socks and shit.
To beat him. Yeah.
Feels good, Private Pile.
What are you going to do? I mean, it's the military, and the weakest link gets people killed. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's me for today. You guys have a good time. Hopefully we'll get this hooked up in the future. Checking out.